Becoming a homeowner is a very exciting and fulfilling experience. It's actually the largest financial decision that a lot of folks will ever make in their entire lives. And at the same time, there are many steps and requirements that must be completed along the way. We at Good to Go Realty believe that our clients are in a much better position to obtain their real estate goals when they're educated about the process. This is why we make it a top priority to educate our clients here at Good to Go Realty. So stay tuned for our next presentation on becoming a homeowner.
Thank you for joining us here today. I'm Shane Tracy, broker of Good to Go Realty, and I am so excited to be able to share this awesome and so invaluable information about the whole idea of taking the steps to purchase your own home, okay? And even on top of that, being able to utilize your VA home loan benefits to do so. Man, it's an exciting time, right? When you can actually own a piece of the land that you took the time, the energy, the blood, sweat, and tears to actually defend. And I am so excited to be able to provide all this great information to you. I am a veteran myself, actually, United States Marine Corps, and I just I've become so sometimes even emotional about the idea of working with my brothers and sisters once again and taking them through such a pivotal, important, potentially the greatest financial decision that they ever make in their entire lives, and help walk them through that. That's how passionate I am. That's how important it is for me to get this message out. And so let's start out with going over the overview. We're going to talk about some definitions, busting the myths. Folks, there are lots of myths out there. We're not going to get to them all, but we're going to have a good start, right? Renting versus buying, that's a big one. That's a big one. What and where? What you can buy with your VA home loan benefits and where you can buy it. Eligibility, who's actually eligible. Certificate of eligibility. This is a very important document that you'll need to get a hold of. VA funding fee, and I know you don't want to hear fee. The stuff starts adding up, right? But there's actually a caveat to that. VA closing cost, documents needed, and the total journey from start to finish of what it takes to own your own home. Okay, and I want to start out with talking about a certain definitions. Entitlement. This is the amount that the Department of Veterans Affairs has determined that they would be able to allow people to borrow up to when it comes to using their VA home loan benefits. All right. VA funding fee. This is a one-time fee per loan. Okay, one-time fee per mortgage. When that you're going to pay the Department of Veterans Affairs directly as part of the process. And again, I'm going to be going into some more about that, to say the least. Your VA certificate of eligibility. Hey, this is a document that your lender has to have in order to confirm that you're actually eligible for this great benefit. So that is something to take note of. Loan assumption. This is not going to be for everybody, but I at least want you to know that if you do have a VA loan right now, and let's say you're wanting to sell a home, you actually have the opportunity, option for whoever's buying it to assume that loan, even though they may not even be eligible through the VA home loan benefits process themselves. They can actually assume the loan, they have to qualify and all of that. Just keep that in mind, as a lot of folks are not aware of this being an option. Minimum property requirements, MPR, minimum property requirements. This is a part of the VA appraisal process where they go out to the home that you're wanting to purchase, and they're needing to confirm the market value of that home. And along with determining the actual market value of that home, the Department of Veterans Affairs has determined that there are minimum property requirements as far as sanitary conditions, safety, and the soundness of the structure that have to be met in order to move forward and be able to get your VA loan. So keep in mind that is important as part of this process. Busting the myths, boy, they're out there, right? First one, other loans are better and easier to qualify for. Hey, there's a bunch of misinformation going on and has been going on. I remember when I was in, and it just the whole idea of using your VA loan just wasn't didn't seem to be as positive and as easy to be able to access as you may have for other loans, and that's just not true. In fact, when it comes to your VA loan, they're not using your debt to income ratio like other loans. They're actually using a residual income that you have to that they look at and calculate in order to be able to determine what you qualify for. So they use residual income. They are also going to have the possibility, the option to have manual underwriting. So that means an underwriter to be able to manually look at everything and be able to confirm what you would qualify for. I point this out because this may not be the option with other types of loans that are out there. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we're looking at what your options are. You're also going to have more flexibility as far as your credit score and as far as your history is concerned, your financial history when it comes to using a VA loan. Next one, the VA loan can only be used one time. How many of you believe that? Hey, there's a lot of people out there that believe this, but the fact of the matter is, your VA loan, your VA loan benefits can be used multiple times over, and in fact, there can be situations where you can use your VA benefits to have two different loans. Okay, so again, that's something that you want to go in and talk to your trusted lender or VA lender about and find out what the details are there. VA amounts are too low. As of 2020, the Department of Veterans Affairs has determined that there is no maximum loan amount that requirement or maximum that you can use. So if you are not using any of your entitlement, so you don't have a VA loan out there right now, okay? So you've got all of your entitlement available. You have the potential to borrow anywhere into the millions of dollars even. 100% financing, no down payment, but of course you must qualify. So VA loan amounts too low. It's definitely no longer the case. So that is, I know, big news for a lot of folks out there, but that's a great option. VA loan takes too long to close. I'm not sure where this comes from. I know there can be times where there can be such a hot market, and there can be many different lenders handling many different loans, and some of the process can slow down. But that would be for any type of loan, not just VA. So I would say you probably expect around 30 days to close. It could be earlier, it could be a little bit later. It just depends, because even though the steps are the same for each and every home buyer out there, the overall steps, the actual process that you go through in your own particular transaction can be very unique. Okay, so that's where time can be different, but just overall say that it's going to be longer is just not accurate. And the VA loan is not an option due to a foreclosure. Hey, great news. If you have gone through a foreclosure and you qualify for VA home loan benefits, you may still be able to use it. So again, this is where you want to go to your trusted VA lender and find out the details and see what it is where you stand. Okay. On to renting versus owning. I ask everyone this: whose mortgage are you paying each month? And you're like, Shane, I'm base housing, whatever. I don't own a home. What are you talking about, a mortgage? Each and every one of us is paying a mortgage each month. The question is it your mortgage or somebody else's? And if it is somebody else's mortgage, what do you get in return? And unfortunately, when you take that option, there's no return. There's no investment that you're making. Okay, and the whole idea of owning your home is to think about it in the light of having an investment and then having another investment and so on and so forth. Okay, so we're each paying a mortgage. We want to pay our own mortgage, right? Not somebody else's. Um, Down payment with a VA loan, home loan, there is zero down payment. Okay. Other types of loans, FHA, 3.5% down of the purchase price. A conventional loan could be 5%, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. That is paid at the closing. I know it says down payment, but that's not paid until closing. All right. What is due right at the beginning, and it doesn't matter if it is a VA loan, it doesn't matter an FHA, conventional, whatever, is what's known as earnest money. And this earnest money amount is due right at the time of the contract, where it could be as low as $500, $1,000. Mostly I'm seeing that with new construction, or upwards to 1% of the purchase price of the home, which I'm seeing for pre-existing homes. No matter what, when we're talking about pre-existing homes, that is a negotiated amount. With a new construction, that is set within the contract of whichever builder that you have decided to build through. Okay, so earnest money is still due, but you take that. They're going to take that earnest money and put that towards your closing cost. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And when we talk about the full amount that you would end up having to pay at closing, believe it or not, you could be in a situation, and I have had it, where my clients would pay less than they would if they were leasing that house or a house. So when you go to lease, you could be paying upwards $3,000 to $5,000, no exaggeration, with the cost of renting, the deposit, pet fees, all of that. You could end up paying more to step into somebody else's already used home, okay, to lease their home versus owning your own home, and again potentially paying less to get into your own home. Okay, and by the way, I haven't even mentioned about the dogs, right? How many of you have been up against the wall about my dog breed isn't accepted by these property management companies? That comes up all the time. And when you own your own home, you do not have to worry about whether or not you have an acceptable breed, okay, because it is your property. All right? Basic allowance for housing, your BAH. This is very important that you know that this is tax-free money. So, you have tax-free money, and you can use that to your advantage to be paying your monthly mortgage, or you're inevitably giving it back to the government, to the military, this tax-free money. When you purchase, you are utilizing that tax-free money to make your monthly mortgage payments. And I'm going to get into how else that helps you tax-wise, but as I mentioned earlier, how you want to be looking at purchasing a home is that this is a financial investment. You are investing into your future, your family's future. You are investing into building your financial portfolio. And I've learned that the richest folks out there, um, generation after generation, they put about a third of their fortune into real estate. Again, a third of their fortune into real estate. This is generation after generation, not just something that's just started. So that's how important uh, the idea of owning real estate is. Again, to build up your financial wealth. Last but not least, tax advantages. Again, going back to the whole idea that you get your BAH, which is tax-free money. And when you own your own home, you are using that money to pay your monthly mortgage, as I mentioned. Each year, you're going to get a statement from your mortgage company showing what you have paid towards your principal and paid towards interest and all of that. And you submit that information as part of your tax return, and you can actually get money back for what you have paid towards your home, specifically the interest that you have paid towards your home. Okay? Again, going back to the fact that it's tax-free money that you're spending to pay for your home each month, and you potentially can get money back from your tax returns. It's just phenomenal if you really think about it. What advantages you have in your shoes, if specifically if you're active duty, and how you can utilize your BAH to your utmost potential. What and where? So, what you can purchase your with your VA home loan benefit? It comes down to single-family homes, modular or manufactured homes, condos, townhouses, barndominiums, multi-unit property, and tiny homes. Now, along with any of these homes, of course, they have to meet that minimum property requirements that I mentioned as part of the appraisal process. Do keep that in mind, okay? Where you can purchase is anywhere in the United States and its territories. So this includes Puerto Rico, Guam, Samoa, the Northern Mariana Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, even. So uh, I'm sure that's news to you. It's been news to me to know all of this, that it's just more than just here in the continental United States. So this is exciting for those of you that are eyeing property maybe outside of the continental United States. So who is eligible? So that would come down to Marine Corps, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Space Force personnel. Okay. And so to determine, okay, I'm one of those. When did I serve? So you would need 90 days of wartime. During this time includes up to August 1990 to present, or served 181 days peacetime along within these dates. 24-month rule. Some of you may actually fall into this, so I want to go over it with you. If service was between September 8th, 1980, or October 17, 1981 for officers, and August 1st, 1990, veterans must generally complete 24 months of continuous active duty service or the full period, at least 181 days, for which they were called or ordered to active duty and be discharged under conditions other than dishonorable. Other than dishonorable. Okay. So again, some of you may fall into this time frame, so just keep this in mind. Also, other people that are eligible: members of the Reserve or National Guard. So these are folks that have served, completed 6 years, as long as they received an honorable discharge, or they are placed on the retired list, or they are transferred to other honorable service, or they are still serving in the reserves or guard. Okay? So that's a lot of information, and that includes a lot of you out there. So just keep in mind, if you are a member of the Reserves and National Guard, you can be eligible. So that's awesome, awesome news. Also, who else is eligible would be those that discharged for service-connected disability, unremarried spouse, age 57 or older, who didn't remarry before December 16, 2003, of a veteran who died in service or from a service-connected disability, and spouse of a prisoner of war or missing in action. And so this could potentially cover a lot of folks here. And so it's important to know whether or not you actually have the eligibility. So please, if you have questions, please reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with one of the lenders that I work with that I really do a fantastic job with VA loans and making sure that you're being taken care of correctly. All right. Certificate of eligibility, I mentioned this earlier. This is the document that your lender needs to have to be able to confirm whether or not you're actually eligible, all right, as it spells out here. So there are questions, how do I get this? How do I get this, Shane? Three ways. Complete a VA form 261880 and request it online at eBenefits. You can complete that same form along with proof of military service and mail it in, or get with your trusted VA loan lender and they'll help you with that. So you've got a couple different options, making sure that they get that as soon as possible because they have to have that to be able to move forward in looking at what you would actually qualify for under a VA loan. VA funding fee. As I mentioned earlier, this is a one-time payment that the veteran, service member, or survivor pays directly to the Department of Veterans Affairs on a VA-backed or VA-direct home loan. So each time that you get a VA loan, home loan, then this is a fee that is paid. Now, asterisk here for those that have veterans or active duty military buyers receiving compensation for a service connected disability and deemed 10% or more disabled by the VA are exempt from the funding fee. So if you have 10% or more disability from the VA, then you don't have to pay that funding fee. And then I've got the question, Shane, but I do have to pay the funding fee. I don't fall into that category. So here's the good news: that funding fee, which can differ from whether it's your first loan or your third loan, and other variables, you can actually roll it up within the loan amount. So it can be part of what you're actually borrowing, so you're not paying all of that at the time of closing on your home. Okay, so that is a potential option for you if you find that you do have to pay that funding fee. Now, the amount of the funding fee depends on the type of transaction, down payment, first or subsequent use, and whether you were regular military, reserve, or National Guard. So I know, it's par for the course, right? There's nothing simple when it comes to the military or anything to do with it and all the paperwork that goes with it, right? But it is all worth it to confirm all of this and make sure that you are taking advantage of this great benefit. All right. VA closing cost. There's a lot here. So these are fees allowed to be paid by the borrower. That would be you when you're wanting to purchase a home using your VA benefits. Include 1% flat origination fee by the lender, plus reasonable discount points to lower the rate, appraisal and compliance inspections, recording fees, credit report fee, prepaid items, insurance, VA flood certification, survey, title examination, and insurance. I'm pointing these out that number one, these are fees allowed to be paid by you, not necessarily that the lender is going to have you pay them, but these are the ones that are allowed because there are other fees that you're not allowed to pay as the borrower when it comes to a VA home loan. Okay, so this is want to be very specific. Again, I don't want you to get distraught or anything. These are allowed to be paid, so it depends on the lender and what fees they pass on, how they try to keep their costs down for you as the veteran or active duty, and it can be different from one lender to the next. These are the documents that you're going to need after applying and you get your credit check. You want they're going to need your 2 most recent federal tax returns and W-2s, 2 most recent pay stubs or LESs, 2 most recent bank statements, quarterly statements for all stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc., copy of orders of PCSing or your job offer letter if you're having to move due to a job, and other items that may be required if self-employed, etc. It's a lot, and I get it, okay? It is all worth it though, and I'm going to ask you, when you take that step and want to move forward with getting pre-approved for your VA home loan, I ask that you be as proactive as possible. Make sure you've got everything ready to go, and in that way, it's just going to make this whole process as even smoother. Okay, because the lending part of the whole process is one of the most detailed, and it's just the lengthiest part of the process if you look at everything. So the more proactive you are, the better off your lending process is going to go. All right. Now let's go over the actual process from start to finish about purchasing your home. First thing first, you want to pick a trusted realtor or real estate broker. I am a real estate broker, and what I am here to do for you is to not only negotiate the best terms of the contract for you, I'm also here to facilitate a smooth transaction. There's always going to be bumps. There's always going to be something unique about the process, your specific process, buying a home. And I'm here to make it as smooth as possible. I'm also here to help you find your home. Yes, it is going to be the one that you pick, not me, but I also will help you start to whittle it down and make sure that you know what direction you want to go and all of that. And I'm also here to educate you throughout the process. I have found that the more that my clients are educated throughout this process, the less frustration, the less stress can come up. Okay? And there can be a lot of stress, needed stress that can come up. And I want to lessen that as much as possible. Now, you want to get pre-approved. There's pre-qualification and there's pre-approval. Pre-qualification is potentially just a phone call and where the lender is just asking you some questions. Pre-approval is that you're actually having to submit paperwork and they are getting really um, solid information about your financial situation and being able to give you a more accurate number that you can get pre-approved for. And the more that you're pre-approved up front, the less potential headaches and hangups and all of that can happen down the line overall. Okay, let's search for homes. So this is exciting, but we want to narrow it down as quickly as possible because there's a whole lot of other people that are looking for homes too at any given time. So I'll start a search for you. You'll start receiving those emails. I also have a free app that gives you the most up-to-date list of homes available because it's directly connected to the MLS. This is different than going on these different websites. This is going to be much more accurate. It's going to be the most accurate, actually. And once you start to find which homes that you're interested in, I ask you to do your due diligence as much as possible. If you're in the area, please drive by the home, make sure it's a community that you like. It's the house looks the same. Photos can be a little bit different, unfortunately. And and then when we go to look at these homes, I'm going to ask you to rate each home from 1 to 10, 10 being the best for what you're looking for right now. Not necessarily your dream home, unless you are looking for your dream home, but what are you looking for right now? And how does this stack up? Okay. When we get those that are coming in at 9, 10, those are the ones that we want to consider putting in the offers for. Okay. But we want to whittle it down as quickly as we can to make sure that you are not potentially losing out on your the best home for you. All right. We're going to put in an offer, and that is a point of negotiating. Once and if that offer is accepted, then we go under contract. Now the clock starts, and we need to be putting in your earnest money, which is a negotiated amount, and the option period money into the title company as soon as we go under contract. We don't want any time to go by, and there are a required number of days, and I'll go over that with you when we get to that point. But just know it's as soon as possible. This money goes to the title company. And of course, the earnest money is going towards your closing cost. And the option period money is that money that, again, has been negotiated between you as the buyer and the seller to say, okay, these number of days, 5, 7, 10 days, whatever, I want, and at this price that I'm paying, to be able to have whatever inspections that I want. So you want your home inspection done, a termite inspection, specifically on a pre-existing home using your VA loan, and a roofer that you want over if you want, a structural engineer, whatever the case may be. And once we get these inspection reports back, you're going to make one of 3 decisions. First one is either of those 3 decisions, one of them is I am really happy with what I'm seeing and I want to move forward. Another potential decision could be, Shane, I've looked over the results of these inspections. I'm concerned. And so if we're going to move forward, I want XYZ to be addressed. Okay. Or after looking at all of the results of the inspections, you are not happy and you're concerned with the condition of the home or whatever. And so if that is the case and you don't want to move forward, we terminate the contract still in the option period. Okay. Under those circumstances, in the option period, if you're terminating because you don't want to move forward, then you're going to get your earnest money back from the title company. The option period money will stay with the seller. Okay. Now, let's say you do move forward, and we're out of the option period now. We're going to have the appraisal ordered. The lender goes through a third party, a appraisal management company, and they have appraisers, and one of them will grab the request for your appraisal, go out, and that they have to have additional training for VA appraisals. They'll go out and they are going to confirm the market value of that home. Look at the outside condition, the interior, everything, and of course, with it being a VA loan, they're going to look at minimum property requirements. Okay, and so once we get that back, it's either going to have a value or it's going to say XYZ needs to be addressed. Now, you may be thinking, I thought we already did the inspection, Shane. Yes, this is something that the appraisers do if they find that there is just something that needs to be addressed, again, per the minimum property requirements. And if there are concerns, such as maybe a soiled carpet that may have chemicals in there that may be harmful to a child, to something that is structural or whatever the case may be, they're going to require that they be addressed before you can actually get the loan and close on your home. Okay, that's important to know. And this is another point of negotiating with the seller. Once everything is done, we move forward, you got the appraisal. Right at the end, you're going to do a final walkthrough. We're going to walk through the house, confirm that whatever agreed upon repairs have been addressed to your liking and you're satisfied with the condition of the home. If that is the case, then you're going to sign off, agreeing that you're ready to close. And then we go to the closing. Just to be forewarned here, lots of paperwork to fill out, lots of paperwork, no way around it. But it's all for a good cause, right? All for a good reason. So you can own a piece of the land that you're defending. And so once all the paperwork is signed, we have to then wait for the actual funding. That funding is the transfer of the money to purchase your home. And that funding could be in half an hour from now, 2.5 hours, 3, 5 hours. It could be the next day. Now, I'll just tell you, in my experience, it's been the same day, but there is a family out there, not one that I worked with, but that somebody assisted, and they were moving out of their apartment, closing on a Friday afternoon, and they cleaned up their apartment, gave their key back to the leasing office, got in their moving van, and drove to the closing with expectations of once they close, they get their key and they can move in that night. For whatever reason, after signing everything, they found out that the funding wasn't going to be happening until Monday, and it's Friday. So I don't ever want a situation where my clients are looking across the closing table from me going, "Hey, Shane, you got room at your house?" Don't ever want any kind of hiccup like that, for sure. So it's important to understand as you are scheduling everything out to be prepared to move into your home that you need to wait until it actually funds. Okay. And so that is the end of the awesome presentation. I want to make sure that you know how much I thank you for your service, whether you are serving right now or have served. Okay. I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. As a fellow veteran and as a citizen of this country, thank you for all that you do each and every day. It is so vital, so vital, and we all play a pivotal role. I do believe we all play a pivotal role in defending this country. And keep in mind, even though you may not have served during wartime, you are still a veteran. If you're not active duty right now and you have served, you are still a veteran. And I want you to take advantage of this great, great benefit. Now, to learn more, pick up a free copy, electronic copy of my new book, Home for Heroes. Click the QR code and you can grab your free copy. You'll be very happy because all this information and more will be right at your fingertips, and you can peruse that anytime. And I want to take this time to thank each and every one of you for being here today and taking the time to learn this very important information. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us here today. If you don't mind, take a moment and subscribe, like, comment, and even share this great information. I know there are others out there that will find this invaluable. Until next time, have a great day.